But something in that house had been waiting, watching, whispering. When Detective Elise Rowan returned to her rural hometown of Black Hollow for the first time in over a decade, she expected a quick visit to settle her late aunt's estate. She didn't expect the walls of her childhood home to whisper her name at night. Black Hollow hadn't changed much. Dusty roads, silent woods, and townspeople who watched you too long and spoke too little. The locals still remembered the Hollow murders. 5 children who disappeared in the fall of 1997, their bodies never found. Elise had been just a child then, barely 7 years old. The only memory she had of that time was a dream, of long shadows in the woods, and something whispering her name from under the floorboards. Now, 28 and a seasoned detective in Chicago's Homicide Division, Elise was not one to indulge in small-town folklore. That is, until the first night in her aunt's decaying Victorian manor on the edge of Black Hollow. At exactly 3:17 a.m., Elise was jarred awake by a soft, rhythmic tapping. Tap, tap, tap. It wasn't the creak of old pipes or the groan of wood under pressure. This sound came from inside the walls. She sat up, frozen, listening. Then it came again, closer. Elise. A whisper. Faint but deliberate. Her pulse quickened. Grabbing her flashlight and service pistol from the nightstand, Elise moved cautiously into the hallway. It was cold, colder than it should have been in early October. The hallway smelled faintly of rotten soil. She pressed her ear to the wall. Nothing. That morning, Elise chalked it up to stress, fatigue, and the eerie nature of returning to a house soaked in old memories. But the next night, the whispers returned. This time they said more. She knows, under the house, you saw it, don't forget. And then, laughter. The child's, hollow, mocking. By the third night, Elise knew something was deeply wrong. Exploring the attic, she discovered a locked chest filled with old papers. Among them was her aunt's journal. The last entry, dated a week before her death, read, "The voices are louder now. They know I tried to warn them. They said Elise would return and remember. I hope she forgets. I truly do. The house is alive." More disturbing were the entries from 1997. The children came to play again today. They love the hidden room. But last week they found the tunnel. I told them to never go down there. I think something followed them back. Elise's hand trembled as she flipped through the entries. Names. 5 of them. The same 5 children who vanished in 97. Jasper, Molly, Tony, Scott, Kaylee. The last page was a crude drawing. It showed the house with something crawling beneath it, long arms, wide grin, hollow eyes. The same thing Elise had drawn once as a child. Something her school counselor said was just imagination trauma. Was it? Fueled by dread and determination, Elise searched the cellar. Behind an old boiler, she found it, an ancient door sealed with rusted chains and a lock that snapped under the weight of her pry bar. Inside was a small stone room with children's toys, wooden soldiers, a cracked porcelain doll, drawings on the walls. Stick figures. Smiling faces. But all were crossed out violently in red. Then, at the far end of the room, she found it, a narrow hole in the ground as if the earth had split open. From it rose a foul stench, of death, decay, and something older. She knelt beside it. Tap, tap, tap. The sound again, from inside the earth. And then, a hand. Small, pale, crawling upward. Elise screamed and fell backward. Her flashlight flickered and died. The room went pitch black. Then whispers rose like a tide. You left us. You forgot. Now we remember. Now we play forever. The truth. Elise fled the room, barricading it behind old furniture and returning upstairs in a haze of fear. She contacted the local sheriff, Dan Holloway, her mother's old friend. But he didn't believe her. Your aunt always had stories. She was sick. You were a child, scared of shadows. It's grief talking, Elise. But something in his voice trembled. He knew. That night, she broke into the sheriff's office. The Hollow murders file had long been marked as closed, classified as missing persons, unsolved. But hidden in the back of the file was a photograph, children playing in front of her aunt's house. One was Elise. She dropped the photo in shock. She didn't remember playing with them. Then she saw it, a shape in the background. Dark, grinning, watching from a cellar window. The descent. She had no choice. She returned to the hidden room, armed with a lantern and recorder. The air was heavy, thick with dread. The hole was still there, but now it was larger. She heard crying. Children's voices. Help us. One by one she descended into the earth. The tunnel was made of stone and bone, lined with claw marks. Elise moved forward, heart thudding, breath short. Then she saw them. The 5 children, unchanged exactly as they'd looked in the photograph. Smiling. "Well, you remembered," Molly said. "Now we can finish the game." "What game?" Before she could react, something lunged from the shadows. A creature, tall, eyeless, skin like cracked porcelain. Its mouth stretched unnaturally wide, filled with rows of tiny teeth. "The housekeeper," Tony whispered. "He feeds on forgotten things." Elise fired her pistol. The shot echoed uselessly through the tunnel. The thing did not flinch. It spoke without lips. "She brought me back then. Now she brings me again." Behind the creature she saw a pile of bones, dozens of them. Not just 5. Hundreds. Generations. Children. The sacrifice. The children screamed. The creature reached for Elise and pain exploded in her skull. She dropped to her knees, blood rushing in her ears. Then Molly stepped forward. "She can stop it. She's the only one who left and came back. She remembers." A low rumble shook the earth. The tunnel began collapsing. The creature screamed, an inhuman, glass-shattering howl. Elise grabbed the old doll from the floor, holding it up. "Is this what you want? Is this what started it?" The creature paused. Then Elise saw it. In its chest, where a heart should be, was a cavity. Doll-sized. She shoved the doll into the cavity. Light burst forth. The children began to vanish, smiling. "It's time," Molly whispered. "We're free. But you." And Elise understood. Someone had to stay. As the creature disintegrated into ash and screams, Elise turned back, just once, and smiled. 10 years later. Black Hollow is quiet now. They say the house was demolished, though no one remembers who did it. The cellar collapsed and was buried. But some nights, if you walk too close to the woods, you'll hear it. Tap, tap, tap. And if you're very unlucky, you might hear your name.